Welcome back to the Playtime Travel Code channel if you're already a Playmate. In today's video, I'll be explaining the proper documentation that you need to board a Carnival cruise ship. Let me tell you, if you don't have the right paperwork in place when you try to check in to get on the ship, there's a chance that they will turn you away. And I have brought some people with me that have had some close calls. I'll talk about those at the end of the video. Now, today I'm talking to the natural U.S. citizens that are doing a closed loop cruise. And when I say closed loop cruise, that means you leave and return back to the same U.S. port. The documentation you need to successfully board a Carnival ship is as follows. You're going to have to prove your identity. You'll also need a boarding pass and possibly some luggage tags if you're giving your bags to the porter. Of course, always check with your cruise lines and your travel agent to make sure you have the most up-to-date information as far as the documentation that you need. Sometimes when you're dealing with international travels, you definitely need a passport. So these are the things that you want to make sure you're clear on when traveling. Proving your identity. You can use a valid passport. When I say valid passport, you have to pay attention to that expiration date. The passport to be valid must not expire before 6 months of the last date of your travel. That means if you're flying home from your cruise on December 31st, in order for that passport to be valid, the expiration date must be after July 1st of the following year. So pay close attention to your expiration date. Another way you can prove your identity is to use your original birth certificate. This is the copy that you buy from your local state vital statistics office. Now, Carnival will accept a copy of the original as long as it's a great copy, a copy that has all 4 edges, something that looks like it's not altered at all. Also, if you happen to have laminated this copy, they'll accept that as well. To go along with the original birth certificate, Carnival will need a picture identification card. Now, you can use a state ID, you can use a state-issued driver's license. Just make sure these things are not expired. If you're 16 to 18 years old, you can use your student ID with the picture on it to go with the original birth certificate. Those 2 things together will prove your identity. Also, if the names do not match between your birth certificate and your picture ID, please bring any bridging paperwork that would explain why the names don't match. This might mean that you're bringing a divorce decree, a marriage license, adoption paperwork. If you change the name on your own, you'd rather have this paperwork and not need it than need it and not have it. So please bring whatever it takes to prove why the names are different. Also, if you're an adult that's bringing a child with you, 15 years or younger, and the other parent is not coming, or if you're a person that's bringing a child that's not even your own child, you will need a notarized letter that covers all bases, saying that you're authorized to bring the child alone without the other parent, or authorizing that you have rights to bring the child without both parents. You also want to cover the dates of the travel, the ports that you're taking the child to, that you have rights to authorize any healthcare needs, that you have rights to authorize the child doing excursions. So be very detailed in the letter, but cover your bases and have that notarized letter. After you have proven your identity, the second thing you'll need to board a Carnival cruise ship is a boarding pass. Every person will need their own boarding pass. Now, these are available for you to print out after you complete your check-in on the carnival.com website. Check-in opens 2 weeks before you cruise. If you're a platinum or diamond member, you can check in 16 days before versus 14 days if you're general population. Anyway, the boarding pass looks like this. Every person will need one. Also, please print off a luggage tag for each bag that you're bringing. And when you print this off during your check-in process, it prints off this size and then you fold it down to this size, and you're supposed to staple it onto your bag and hand it to the porter. However, a staple piece of paper on a luggage bag that's being tossed around and intermingled with all of the other bags, there's a possibility that that piece of paper might fall off of your luggage. So I suggest that you purchase these clear plastic covers to go on your luggage tags, and that way when you hook it onto your luggage, there's a better chance that it won't get lost. Now, these luggage tags will have your name, the ship name, the date, and your room number. So this is how they know where to take your luggage. And the next time you see that luggage, it'll be outside of your cabin on the cruise ship. So I personally have dealt with a few people that have had issues getting on the ship because they didn't have the proper documentation. One time we got to the gate and was checking in, and the person whips out the paper that looks like this. Supposed to have been a birth certificate, but it looked like it had been folded up for like 25 years, real tight and little like that. Anyway, they unfolded it and it was like a marriage license or something like that. It was not a birth certificate at all. Luckily, we were traveling through the week, and through the week, the vital statistics office is open, so we were able to get some help. Another time, the person just completely forgot their birth certificate, just a mishap. And luckily, we were traveling through the week, so vital statistics was able to help us. And then there was another time where another guy forgot his birth certificate as well, and I think somebody had to break in his house and get a copy faxed over. I mean, we do what we have to do to make it happen, but you got to have each other's back. When y'all traveling together, cruising together, have each other's back on the paperwork, because like I said, if the paperwork process goes wrong, there's a chance that you will not be able to board.